What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video of the Point After Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the Utah Utes and their 2023 season. Kind of see how this season is going to stack up for them. Your could be final year in the Pac-12. No one knows what the hell is going on over there. USC's leaving, UCLA's out, Utah may be out, Washington, Oregon, Arizona State. Who knows what the future holds for the Pac-12? But what we do know is this year there are three top contenders out west, maybe four: Utah, USC, Oregon, and Washington. Yes, I said Utah first for a couple of reasons. Number one, you return 83% of your offensive production from last season. You are number 5 in that category. You are number 16 overall when it comes to total production returning. So very, very positive things out there out west for Utah. Then you take a look at the new guys that are coming in for this Utah squad. We'll start with just the recruits. Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, 4-star. He could be a day one starter. CJ Blocker, kind of the same thing there. Another 4-star corner. I'd expect to see him get some playing time this season. And then Caleb Lamu, just like Spencer, offensive tackle who could find his way into at least the 2 deep. I think both of those guys, if neither of them start, I think they're at least in the 2 deep guys you want to develop. And it's a good opportunity for them to do that. Smith Snowden, cornerback out of Sky Ridge in Utah. Dallin Bentley, tight end. I think that's a guy that could see some playing time with Dalton Kincaid departing. You have John Randall Jr., the running back out of Wichita, Kansas, who is another 4-star and the final 4-star on this Utah recruiting class for 2023 or 2023. Dijon Stanley, 3-star running back, who, if you look in position rankings, he's a 3-star compared to a 4-star with John Randall, but he's only ranked 5 lower. You got Mikey Matthews, the 3-star wide receiver out of California. Owen Chambliss, 3-star linebacker out of Corona, California. Roger Alderman, interior O-lineman. C.J. Jacobson, a tight end. Jonathan Hall, a safety. Jonah, not sure how to pronounce his last name, out of Bishop Gorman, another linebacker. Mitchell, running back. So that's the 3rd running back that Utah signed this offseason. Then you got Mac Howard out of Oxford, Mississippi, traveling a long, long way to come play for the Utes. You got Dadrian Zipper, and then Stanley Ross, the defensive lineman. So you've got a lot of incoming talent, and they're all 4 and 3 stars. I don't think they signed a 5. They did not, and they still put together the number 23 overall class. 44 in the transfer portal, as you can see here. And we will take a look at, here's your 4 more guys who signed letter of intent, have not enrolled yet. Don't know what their situation is. I assume they just enroll in fall camp. So Hunter Clegg, Brock, Helu, and Taya Fotofo. I know I botched that, but good luck. Then you've got a hard commit who apparently never signed. So a pretty weird situation out west for Utah. But let's take a look at who they have coming in. You have Britton Allen, the 3-star safety, transferring in from USC. Landon King, a tight end out of Auburn. Micah Pittman, that's a big, big name for this Utah offense. He was a really good wide receiver for Florida State last year. I think that's the guy that transferred from Oregon to Florida State. Looks like he's made his way back out west. That's going to be a name to watch if you're Utah guys. The Cam Rising to Micah Pittman may be a little electric in 2023. Really, really like that pickup. Same with Emory Simmons. Emory Simmons, another vet guy, is going to come in and get some things done for you offensively. Miles Battle, the corner out of Ole Miss, probably coming in to be a day one starter. Logan Fano, the edge. And that may be his brother. I can't confirm that, but I'm going to suspect that's a brother out there. And then Lavani Demunu, linebacker out of Stanford. So lots of guys. Logan Fanu, the 4-star, and Miles Battle. Apologies for my eye scratch there. Micah Pittman. Lots of top quality guys coming in through the portal for Utah. And again, you bring back, I think it was 70-something% of your returning production in general, 80-something% offensively, good enough for rank number 5. So it's not like you're losing a bunch of guys that you have to replace. It's going to be a really, really talented Utah roster, a veteran roster, and one that could compete and maybe go back-to-back Pac-12 champions. That's what a lot of people forget is when you look at Oregon, you look at USC, you look at Washington. A lot of people forget that Utah won the Pac-12 last year, um, but they are in a very good position to repeat this season in 2023 as Pac-12 champs. Florida Gators open the season August 31st in Salt Lake City, Utah. I think Florida at that point will be a much different team than what we see from them in week 4, in week 8, and then again in week 12. I don't think Florida's going to have all the pieces put together. It's a revenge game for Utah. Give me the Utes. Then you go to Baylor right after that. You do get 2 days extra rest, so that's good. But same situation. I think you start this season 2-0. I don't think Baylor's going to beat you at home. I think it's going to be a tough game, but give me the Utes. Weber State's an easy win. UCLA is a team that you should not sleep on. Don't take them lightly. Then the rest of UCLA's conference will be 4 ranked opponents, starting with Oregon State on the road. Bye week, followed by Cal at home. Then you go to USC, who will still probably be top 4 at that point, followed by Oregon. If you can make it through those 2 games at just 1-1, I really like your chances to make the championship. I'll say this. I think if any team not named USC or Oregon out of the Pac-12 run the table, I don't think they get into a 14 playoff because I don't think they're going to be. If they're undefeated, they're in. If they're not, I think everybody is going to beat up on each other this year to a point where you've got a bunch of one-loss teams and those losses don't mean as much. I think USC, Oregon, Utah all kind of trade blows, go 1-1 against each other. Situation last year where USC was undefeated and you guys knocked them out of the playoff contention. That's pretty much how this year is going to be. It's going to be Pac-12 just beating up on each other. I like the same thing for Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. I covered that in my Michigan video if you guys want to go see me talk about the Big Ten situation a little bit. It's a scenario where everyone's just going to beat the hell out of each other, and whoever's the last man standing at the end of the year is going to get in. ACC could be the same way. ACC is a little different story. I think Clemson and Florida State are a little 2 tiers above, so whoever wins the ACC, even with the loss, could be automatic in, but I could see either of them going undefeated as well. So after Oregon, you got Arizona State, Washington, Arizona, and Colorado. Colorado is going to be a scary team by that point in the season. If you played Colorado in week 1 or 2, I would take Utah by 2 scores. When you're playing Colorado on November 25th, there's no telling what kind of team we're going to get then. So, with that, I'm going to say my final record prediction for Utah is going to be 10-2. I think ultimately you will lose to USC or Oregon. I'm not going to say both. I'm going to say one of, for the reason I said a minute ago. You're all just going to beat up on each other this year. Then I think there's enough sleeper games out there that if you just take 1 week off in the first half, you play sloppy, I think you're going to lose that game. I look at Baylor on the road after a big win at home against Florida. That's a trap game. You get Oregon State on the road. DJ Uiagalelei at quarterback, trap game. At Washington with Michael Penix is going to be really tough again this year. Another road trap game, and then Colorado at the end of the year, which I touched on just a second ago. No clue what we're going to get out of Colorado at that point. Another trap game. So you've got, essentially 2 really tough games, and then 4 quote-unquote trap games that honestly week of probably won't be looked at as trap games. They're going to be potential game day landing spots. So I'm going 10-2 for Utah. It's still going to be a good season, guys. The what you have to remember is there is no just like SEC. You've got Bama, Georgia, maybe LSU. We'll say Bama, Georgia up here, LSU here, rest of the pack. Pac-12 is not like that. You got like Utah, USC, Oregon, Washington, Oregon State. Colorado may fit in there, UCLA, and then it's everybody else. It's very, very tight. So 10-2 is still a good season for Utah. I do like their chances to probably make the Rose Bowl again. We'll see what happens, but let me know in the comment section how you guys see this season panning out for Utah. What's your record prediction, and what trap games are on the schedule that maybe I did not talk about? Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys tomorrow.